So you want to be a trucker? Hey guys, welcome back. I am Trainer Alan, your OTR truck driving instructor. And today we're going to talk about the beginning of things. You know, you seen the ad and, it said make 50 to 100K your first year. A couple things I want to say about that. First of all, inside your first year, don't expect 50 to 100K unless you plan on teaming with someone. Now, I will say that most companies with new drivers, they do make you team for a little while. So it is possible to make 50 plus your first year, but not probable if you're going out solo. If you're going out solo, your first year, expect 30 to 35, maybe 40, maybe even 45. 50 to 100K is a bit much. Can it be done? Sure, it can be done, but it's not the average. It's not the normal. And that's not to talk you out of doing it, because truck driving is a good living once you're in, once you know what you're doing. Your first year is touch and go. So to make over 50 grand, anything over 50 grand your first year is excellent. Now, there are three entities that generally post that ad. First, you have trucking schools. Second, you have trucking company schools. And then thirdly, you have community colleges. The costs and how those all operate are vary widely. But generally, at a regular trucking school, you're looking at about a 2 to 4 week program, and it's going to cost generally anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. Company school, a trucking company, you go to their school, you generally anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, and generally cost between $4,000 to $6,000. Now, the benefit of the company school, the $4,000 to $6,000, is as long as you stay with that company for a predetermined amount of time, which is generally 1 year, they write off that $4,000 to $6,000 and you owe nothing. Now, with most trucking schools, they do work with companies, and that $6,000 to $10,000 that they charge will generally be covered by the company that you go to inside that first year. And you probably read something about that in one of the ads that you read. The community college, I really don't know a lot about, other than what I've heard from trainees. But it sounds like most of them run from about 6 to 12 weeks and cost between $3,000 and $8,000. Now, on the $3,000 to $8,000, that generally comes out of your pocket unless you can find grants or whatever, which there are several grants out there, especially if you are military or ex-military. Many grants out there for you, loans available to do that. Now, what will generally happen if you've gone to community college is once you get through whatever company you go to, they generally have some kind of reimbursement program where they won't always cover the full amount, but they'll generally try to cover at least a certain amount. Again, that's determined by how long you're with the company. If you get to the company and they're like, after a few weeks or whatever, you quit or you get fired or whatever, they're not covering or reimbursing any of your tuition on that. So that's something to consider. So here you are, whichever mode you've chosen to go with. If you're going to community college, you're going to be local. You're going to be your home every day, every night, whatever. But if you go to a company school or a trucking school, chances are you're going to be shipped off somewhere. To go to that school, you're going to be staying in a motel that they put you up in. They'll generally take care of at least one meal a day, sometimes two. You can really only count on one. If you get two or sometimes three, then you're very lucky. I personally know of at least one company that provides you with 3 meals. I personally know of a couple companies that provide you with 2 meals, but most only provide you with lunch each day. Now, and that's for trucking schools. Now, once you go out of the trucking school and actually into the company, go through orientation, whatever, that changes. It could be 1, 2, or 3 meals. Again, you never know. So, what do you want to take with you when you leave? What is the minimum that you want to take with you? First of all, you want to pack light. Pack very light, but make sure that you have 3 to 4 days of clothing. I recommend 2 long sleeve, 2 short sleeve, 2 long pants, 2 pairs of shorts. There will be some kind of laundry available, whether it's paid or free. It really depends on a lot of different things. But that brings me to the next thing. Make sure you have $250 minimum, because chances are good when you leave to go to school, you're going to be there for a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks. And then once you get out of school and on board with your trainer, you're looking at probably another 4 to 6 weeks. So, yeah, make sure you have $250 cash. Well, it doesn't have to be cash, I guess. You can have at least, $200 on a debit card maybe or whatever, and then do make sure you have $50 cash at least, preferably in 5s and 1s. Don't bring a $50 bill. That's going to be a pain in the neck for you. You're going to be eating a lot out of vending machines. And yeah, you need to have those 5s and 1s. Okay, so you're taking a bus, most likely. On rare occasions, you'll get flown or get a rental car. Most of the time, you're taking a bus to the trucking school, and then from the trucking school to whatever company you get hired on at. So pack light. Think about what you can take on a Greyhound. You got your 1 big bag, 1 carry-on. You can generally also get away with a waist pack or fanny pack, or one of the little clip-on bags that actually clips onto your belt. They generally won't count that as a carry-on. So yeah, that's what you've got to work with for the next, at least, generally 4 to 6 weeks. And a lot of times, once you get with the company, you go straight from your school after being there 2 to 4 weeks straight to your company, where you're going to be with a trainer for 4 to 8 weeks before you even get to go home. Some trainers will try to get you through the house sooner than that, but most companies are not okay with that. So if you are able to get home during that 4 to 8 weeks of training, once you make it to the company, it'll be extra special. Use that time wisely. But yeah, pack light. So you've got 3 to 4 days of clothes, 2 longs, 2 shorts, and pack for the weather. Obviously, if you're going for training in Minnesota or Iowa or Northern Illinois or New York State and it's October, don't bring shorts. You're not going to have any need for them. Bring something warm, maybe even a pair of long johns. Because most of the time at school, it's going to start early. You're going to be starting sometime between 6 and 8 a.m., and it's cold in the morning. And it doesn't matter if it's raining or it's snowing or whatever, you're going to be there. And part of it's in class and part of it's out in the truck, or part of it's out on the lot. You're standing for a while sometimes watching others do their maneuvers, whatever, before you get in, and it can get very cold. Obviously, if you're, headed down to Florida for truck driver training or Arizona, you still need to have at least 1 pair of long pants, because some schools actually require that if you're going to be out on the lot, you have long pants. Don't bring ratty stuff. Don't bring ratty clothes. Bring something that's halfway decent. For your yard work, yeah, you might want to have 1 pair of pants that isn't great, 1 shirt that's not great, whatever. But for the most part, you want to look decent, because keep in mind, once you get done with that trucking school, you're going to go to a company and you're basically going to be going through an orientation process, which is more or less an interview. And you don't want to look like garbage going to an interview. Don't be that guy or gal. So pack light, but pack decent. Pack for the weather. One thing that I do always is I'm wearing a windbreaker. Right now I'm wearing a windbreaker because I'm kind of chilly where I'm at. And then I've usually got a puffy coat. And the windbreaker, this light windbreaker, goes really good over the little puff coat. And the puffy coat, they're light. And honestly, if I just need one or the other, because they're small and light, they bunch up really good into the pocket of whichever one I'm wearing. But if it's a little chillier, a little dampness in the air, I can throw both on and be great. Bring a hat. Most of the time at the school, they're going to give you a hat. And then when you get to your new trucking company, they're going to give you a hat, which is fine if you like standard ball caps. I don't. I wear hats that aren't standard ball caps. Actually, I have mine in my hood right here. This is a hat that I generally wear, this or one of my cowboy hats. So, that is that's something to consider. It's always good to have a hat. And also a cheap raincoat. Just one of those dollar raincoats from Dollar General or whatever. Have one of those, because there's going to be times when you're out on the yard, working out on the yard, you're going to want to keep the rain off of you because you don't want to get drenched through and through and be cold all day. All right. Steel-toed shoes. I cannot stress this enough, okay? You're around trucks, you're around heavy equipment, wear steel-toed shoes. Now, they don't have to be big, elaborate work boots, okay? And you can buy tennis shoes that are steel-toed. I recommend a low cuff work boot with steel toes, because they're going to be lighter than bigger ones, but they're actually going to protect you better than, say, the tennis shoes with steel toes. So also bring some leather work gloves, at least one pair. You can usually buy a 3-pack of leather work gloves somewhere. That would be best. Shower essentials. Bring your shower essentials, obviously. Bring shower shoes. Shower shoes, for those of you who don't know, flip-flops. It's a pair of flip-flops. Bring a pair of flip-flops so that when you're out on the road with your trainer and you're going to truck stops, you have something to wear on your feet so you don't end up with foot fungus, because that's never any fun, right? And bring a shower bag. Just a small bag that can fit inside your main bag that you brought on the bus, that has your shower essentials, and maybe a little bit bigger bag, so that not only can it hold your shower essentials, but it can also hold your clean set of clothes that you're going to want to change into after you take your shower, and then put your dirty clothes in there. Bring a laundry bag, whether it be mesh or cloth. Bring a laundry bag to keep your dirty clothes in. It makes life so much easier, and it is way better than using a plastic store bag. I promise you. The amount of money that you spend, $2 or $3 for a laundry bag, will be well worth it. Sleeping bag and liner, if possible. Sleeping bags are nice. Again, probably get just a cheap sleeping bag with a basic cheap liner. And I say liner because, and obviously the sleeping bag and liner you're not necessarily going to need while you're at the motel. While you're at the school, you're probably not going to need it, though it's nice even in that situation, because most of the time you're rooming with someone. You're going to be in a motel room with someone else, and maybe that person wants to keep it a little cooler than you do. Well, it's nice to have that sleeping bag liner and or a sleeping bag to keep you warm. In the same way, once you get on board with a trainer, and then later on, if you have to go team with someone for a while, or if that's what your plan is forever, they may prefer it to be cooler. You may prefer to sleep warmer. So, sleeping bag and sleeping bag liner. Small notepad. Bring a small notebook. Not a full size, but about half size, and you can find those in 3 to 5 subjects. the little splits in them. Those 3 to 5 subjects come in very handy because you'll have part of it then for school, part of it for your orientation, and then part of it for your training. So yeah, that would be very helpful for you. Also, a Bluetooth headset for multiple reasons. Number one, if you want to talk on the phone while driving, once you're through the main part of training and everything, if your trainer so allows you to, you're going to need a Bluetooth headset because it is illegal to drive in a truck and talk on the phone without a Bluetooth headset. So you will want to have that. Also, if you want to listen to music while you're in the truck, it's nice to have the Bluetooth headset. That way your trainer does not have to listen to your music. All right, so those are the big things to cover. Paperwork. All right. Paperwork. Bring all printed communications. Okay. Any communication that you've had mailed to you, make sure you bring that with you or take a picture of it. Any emails, whether it be from a company or from trucking school, whatever, if you've got them in email and you can print them off at home, bring them with you. Otherwise, if you're like me and you have your email on your phone, you're good to go. But you want to have any communications that you've had available to show someone if they say something different than what you were told. Bring your birth certificate. It has to be a certified copy, guys. It cannot be just a copy off your printer. It has to be a certified copy from the state. Bring your driver's license, social security card. Again, not a copy of your social security card. They're going to need your real social security card. Bring a copy of your 10-year work history. Now, for those of you who are 21, you probably don't have a 10-year work history. But every place that you've worked prior to going to this trucking school or to this company, you'll want to have notated. You'll want to have the address. You'll want to have the phone number. You'll want to have contact information as far as who they can contact, whatever. Make sure you have that with you. It will make your whole experience go a lot easier. So yeah, those are the basic things to bring. There are some things you should not bring. Do not bring a cooler. Do not bring a stereo. Do not bring a CB. Do not bring pets. Okay, and yes, these are things that students have tried to bring on my trucks in the past, or these are things that I've watched students try to take on other people's trucks. A cooler is okay, but, I mean, you've got 2 people in a small cab, okay? I suppose you might want a cooler while you're in a motel room at school, maybe for extras when you can get to the store to get extras, throw them in there. If you don't want, your roommates getting into your stuff in the fridge, whatever. It can be handy. Do yourself a favor and wait until you get to the school and go right down the road to a gas station or something and get a small styrofoam cooler. Don't bring a big $50, $60, $100 cooler with you, $200, $500 cooler with you, because A, it's going to cost you more on the bus, any bus that you have to take, and B, there's not enough room for a cooler when you've already got 2 people in the truck. Chances are good that whatever truck you get on is already going to have either a cooler or a small refrigerator. Utilize it. Stereo is just nonsense. I don't know too many people that don't listen to music on their phone these days, or a minimal, an MP3 player, right? You got headsets for that. CB. I can almost guarantee that the truck that you get into with your trainer's going to have a CB. Okay. If you have a small handheld CB that you want to bring with you, bring it. It can be helpful, not only in the training process, but after you're done training, when you first get in your truck, it may be a few days before they can get you through your house, and having that small handheld CB can help you out at customers. So do make sure, if you do have a small handheld unit, go ahead and bring that. That can definitely be helpful. Okay, those are my lists of things to bring, things not to bring. Yeah, so I think that's going to be it for today's video. My next video will be about your onboarding process and what to expect from orientation and training at your new company. So if you have any questions about schooling, feel free to drop them in the comments below, shoot me an email, and I will get back to you with answers as soon as I can. And I think that's a wrap. That's a wrap. You guys have a great one. Keep the sunny side up out there.